Hi guys, this is Susan from GCTV. Now we are about to start a very fun session with the guys from Deserter. That's Andrew Gumbridge and Vince Raison. You may know them by other names, but that is actually their official names. So for the next little while, we're going to be talking about book launches, beer, and maybe a little education. So let's go. Hello guys.
Hey Susan, how are you doing?
Both. Yeah, good. How are the two of you off the back of this? I think it's been a very successful book launch, right?
It's right, yeah. It was a crazy night. It was absolutely packed. And there's the book, yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, but hold on, is the rumor true that you're already on your third or fourth publishing run for this book?
Yeah, it's all true. Yeah, amazing.
I've got a text from the publisher saying we're on the third print run now, which is quite incredible. Yeah. So,
it's only been out a week.
Mm.
That is incredible. Well, listen, I think we should have a big cheers to that.
Yeah.
And we're getting some whistles in the background too. Good. So you guys, can you tell our viewers a little bit about how you came to write this book and publish it, really?
Sure. Well, we've had a blog for the last 4 years about messing around in South London. It's kind of our, we're just noting what we actually do in our lives and telling everybody. I mean, lots of people do stuff about great pubs. But if you add a little tale about, say, our mate Half-Life being banned for X, Y, and Z reasons, mostly Z, then you got a story, and people have jumped on Deserter since we started, and had some publishing intro off the ground.
And previous to writing the blog, we were writing a TV script, which we got a bit stuck on, didn't we? It was a TV script, a comedy, I guess. Was it comedy?
It was supposed drama? To be.
Yeah. About an alien invasion, but not the usual sort of take on an alien invasion. It was more looked at from the backroom view, it's like the logistics, the admin.
Yeah.
No one really thinks about the admin required for an alien invasion.
How many paper clips do you need for an alien invasion? Nobody thinks about these things.
Yeah.
And
we're still utterly mystified why it wasn't taken up.
Yeah.
But these are, I think that's maybe an example of some of the very important issues that you both tackle on a day-to-day basis, isn't it?
We're all about the admin.
Yeah.
You're all about the admin. I mean, I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you were talking about, I think you were being men of science, actually. You were citing some hard data on the productivity going up, working a 4-day week as opposed to a 5-day week. And I was wondering, have you experimented maybe with, paring that back a bit more to a 3-day week or a 2-day week for yourselves?
Well, we campaign for a 5-day weekend. And while we're very happy to be aligned with the 4-day week campaign, for example, which we think does great work, we just think they don't go far enough. And we did note, that if you do go down from 5 days to 4 days, that productivity goes up, doesn't it? I mean, you may have read the same bit of research. It was quite incredible. So, I mean, our question was, would productivity go up more if you went down to 3 days a week or 1 day a week?
Well, I mean, I do wonder if we have any viewers, anybody participating right now tuned in who might like to take part in that experiment. Maybe somebody could try it out for us and get some hard data. It feels like it, that would be very beneficial. Something else that's,
go on.
I was just going to say something else that strikes me, talking to successful, I hope you don't mind me calling you educators. I think it was in the foreword in your book where Ned Bolting said they may not mean to educate, but they do. So, well, how do you feel actually about being educators?
Well, yes, we call it hidden learning, sort of accidental learning. I think we've been living in South London for so long now that our tips and tricks just seep out of our blood. You know, even if we're going to the pub, we know a good shortcut or a bench where you take in the optimum view. So all we're doing really is pointing these sort of things out. And also, if you did just a pure blog about drinking, maybe people will get the idea quite quickly and tune out.
Yeah, it gives another level to what we're trying to do, doesn't it? You know, places have histories and stories, and you know, pubs are full of characters. And so we like to explore those too.
But we do like history, but we do try to keep all the boring stuff to a minimum.
I was going to say, I think you were talking about the Roman influence in South London. Is that right? Recently, in one of your podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, when it was a Roman city, it was a very multicultural place back then, as it is now. You know, not that much has changed, except the beer's got a bit better.
Yeah, I noticed in your book you had I think you've trademarked the pubgorithm. Yeah, that phrase. I was actually just thinking, reading it, that we could maybe broaden that for our international audience who maybe don't have this amazing panoply of pubs that you guys have, and you could have your algorithm for the wider public. So maybe we could look at doing that. So, you know, we can, you know, broaden it to all alcohol and all nationalities around the world.
We're very pleased to see that you've got a glass of wine on the go, Susan.
More like a bucket.
Yeah, it is more like a bucket, isn't it?
You know that wine glasses in the last 20 years have increased in size ×9.
Really?
20 years ago, they were very small. Now they're 9 times bigger on average. Wow. Yeah.
Or people's hands got bigger. Smaller.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Vince's logic on that. I think our hands are smaller. Yeah, definitely. But just going back to this book for the moment, because I have been really enjoying reading this the last week. I don't know if I've got that in front of the camera there, but so how did you actually sit down to write this book? Because, you know, when you normally we're talking to entrepreneurs or people who have, a successful launch of something, they have quite a plan in place. You know, maybe they have a morning routine that involves getting up at 6 a.m. and you know, they make the rest of us feel kind of bad, really, about our own morning routine. So I was wondering, you know, what two successful guys like yourself do. You know, what's your morning routine?
Well, lunch. You can't work on an empty stomach.
No, I mean that's what mornings are for. Lunch is a reward for mornings, in my view. My average day is about 9:30. I wake up. 11 o'clock I wake up again, and then I have a shower. And I'm kind of ready for the working day.
Yeah, and so then when you went about getting this book published, because you didn't go the traditional route, did you? You used a crowdfunding model. So what is that? How does that work?
Well, it kind of, because we already had a kind of social media presence and we had some readers with the blog, we asked them if they would really be interested in our book and would they like to express that with money. And so lots of people pledged to get the book off the ground, and it kind of proved that the book, it was a goer to our crowd sourcing publisher.
Yeah. And is this, do you know anybody else who's done this, or is this was the first time you guys did this with a book?
So first time we've done it. Yes, I think they've proved the model. This is Unbound, the publisher. They've been going for 3 years, published a couple of 100 books, I think I'm right in saying. And for them, of course, you know, it takes the risk out of a punt on a book, you know, because they get their production costs paid for. That's one of the great upsides, which means they may be more amenable to books that otherwise they might think may let them down financially.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of finances, because of this very important part of it all, like, do you guys, you know, mind me asking, like, do you make any money from this?
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
I like that. You went a bit robot there, Susan.
we didn't quite catch
Just,
that.
I think just at the right time, because I was talking money, hard figures. Like, is it financially a viable way to, supplement your living?
We're moving to Monaco on Tuesday, and you're very welcome to come out with it. The boat's amazing.
Oh, fantastic,
Is it
fantastic.
a viable way to make money? No, it isn't. I mean, to be honest, writing isn't a viable way to make money.
Yeah.
No, there's no money in it. No, I mean,
Forget it.
we're doing all right. I mean, the book's doing well, but it's Monaco's still a long way away for us.
But it sounds like, you've got your fingers in a couple of other pies, so to speak. One of those being the beer.
Yes.
So I was looking today at some other, basically, how popular is it to create your own beer now, to craft your own beer? And this is wildly. Picture of your beer, which I have to say, I did try this. I did try this at the launch, and I'm happy to say that I have no idea what it tasted like. Such was its effects. My memory had just blocked out what it tasted like. So maybe, what does it taste like? How would you describe it?
It's notes of elixir, nectar, and ambrosia.
Oh, lovely. And I'm guessing you did a lot of market research to
we did actually,
that.
We did
a lot of tastings.
A couple of days tasting down at the brewery, didn't we? We ran naked and mock in the hop room, and smelling and tasting each other and the hops, and it was and basing it on some of our favourite beers, and trying to go that a little bit further. And we think it's amazing, Deserter IPA. I mean, we have to say it was done in collaboration with Sam Barber at Southey Brewing, who is one of our mentors in terms of our beer creation.
Yeah, we needed a responsible adult to help us actually do it. We didn't, we don't really know how to make beer, but Sam does, and we kind of helped choose the hops and hump the bags of grain. That's about it, really.
I think you say we helped him, and then we hindered him.
Yes.
And then we were asked to go home.
Yes.
Yeah, and were you happy with the result?
Oh,
it's lovely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Certainly got a kick, hasn't it? I remember that.
Yeah. I think this is probably the best batch we've ever done. I think we made 1,700 or 1,800 pints in the last batch, and this is absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
Well,
it won't last long. It will be.
I had no idea how popular this was. I don't know if you say, literally, venture capitalists have been investing hundreds of millions in alcohol-related startups in the last few years. I know none of this will be news to you guys.
Yeah, no, we have no idea.
And in the UK, and I was reading that in the UK, it all came down to the craft brewery boom came down to in 2002. Gordon Brown introduced the Small Breweries Relief Scheme.
That's right. Yeah. Changed the landscape.
Yes.
All of a sudden, people could make small batches of beer locally and
cost effectively.
Yeah.
And that was in tandem with a change in the licensing laws, which allowed small, previously unlicensed premises to sell alcohol. So this wonderful synergy occurred. It wasn't planned at all, it was done by our government. But fortunately, it worked out. So that, as you say, small batch breweries could flourish.
So, and where can people actually go though to taste some of this beer?
Deserter IPA is available, as far as we know, currently in Dulwich, in Brockley, Brighton, and one other place.
Penge. So it's at the London Beer Dispensary in Brockley, the Brighton Dispensary, and the Dulwich Beer Dispensary, and Southey's Tap Room. They have a lovely tap room in Penge.
There's also been, so I'm presuming you can get it on mail order from if you follow the Southey Brewing Company.
If we haven't drunk it all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've been seeing that there's some interesting beer names out there. I think the best one that I read today was called Citra Ass Down from the Against the Grain Brewery. I thought that was pretty to the point. Have you guys heard any names that that you particularly
We're
like?
working on a double strength deserter IPA for the Christmas market with Sam and Southey again. That's got the working title, The Game Changer.
Ooh.
I would like to call it The Game Changer. I don't know from the American cinema ads. Yeah, that's a 9%er. We did have a
9%.
9%er. Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody, in advance.
How to forget Christmas.
We did do our own saison for sale at the local football club, Dulwich Hamlet FC, which we call the football saison.
Oh.
It's simple,
Is that anything to do with Mr. Raison beside you?
a football saison from Mr. Raison. No, it wasn't.
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, there was something else I want. Did you know that there's a London craft beer festival?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Are you guys going to be exhibiting at that? I was thinking maybe this is a great place to go sample your beer next year as well.
Well, I think we'll have drunk it all by then, so I don't think it'll be on. And do you?
No, I mean it's not. It's on their roster. It's a regular on the brewery's roster, but it's not actually available all the time, which is why sort of people go crazy for it when it comes out, because there's only a limited window, so you've got to get it where you can. But I think it's in a sense sensational beer, and I know Sam and Southey are very happy with it as well. So there's no reason why it wouldn't be. It was taken to the beer festival last year, along with the saison as well. And
yeah,
both sold very well. Yeah, not that we make any money out of it. It's just marketing for us. Yeah, we've never made Susan, never.
Never. But you have good time though, don't you? I mean, this is all it's celebrating a way of life, isn't it?
From what we can remember, yes, we've had a very good
time. I was listening to a pubcast of yours where you went off. I think it was to Chicago. Was it, Vince? Your daughter must have been really happy with you.
It wasn't. When did your daughter live? Do you remember?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Okay. You may as well have been in Chicago. That might have been better.
Yeah. Went on a
Although
lovely...
his daughter wouldn't have been there.
But listen, we're getting a couple of serious questions in, so I'm just gonna one of these. So Matt Folsey has asked, can you ask the guys if Pompey Dunk is a real person or a fictional muse? He appears in the book, blog, and podcast. I hope he's real. For someone to invent such an appalling and depraved human being with their minds is terrifying. Thank you, Folsey, for that question.
Thank you, Folsey. No, we made him up.
Never heard of him.
No, we wanted to have someone who could say the things we couldn't say.
Yeah.
So we invented Pompey Dunk to do that for us.
Yeah.
Okay, there you have it, Folsey. Sorry. Right, have you ever seen a ghost? That's another question.
You remember that time when you took your top off?
No.
And I thought, oh, he's a ghost.
Okay, so Thomas Patrick has asked, perfect chicken in Forest Hill or favourable chicken on Lordship Lane?
Good question. Yeah. Well, I would definitely plumb for perfect chicken because every time you have it, it's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But favourable chicken is also favourable. Yeah, favourable.
Yeah. Not favourite.
No, they're restraining themselves there, aren't they? A bit favourable. It's like quite good chicken.
Is there any other good chicken places?
Have you ever?
Is there any other good chicken places there?
Well, Morley's, of course, is the king of South London, and they're on the cover of our book. And they're so well liked.
Oh, they are.
There are a number of copycats, Mowleys and Monleys,
Marleys, Motleys.
So we have another few questions coming in here, guys. So, another question from Matt. He's our Folsey. He's asked, who wrote the theme tune to the Antiques Roadshow? Off topic, but I'm desperate to know. Thanks, Matt. I think it's time for a drink.
I think
Susie Quattro. Very good question.
Yeah.
Can we have more questions from Folsey?
That would be our
Well, I don't think Folsey's going to disappoint. Thomas is also not disappointing. Can you lend me a tenner? Oh, I'll tell you what. Steve Berry says, "Will we ever get a full series of Charlie Star?"
Oh, that was bloody hell! I've forgotten about.
Wow!
That.
Yeah.
And he's giving you a wave.
Yeah, nice one, Steve. Yeah, I have forgotten about that. Yes, we tried working on a 1970s footballers cartoon series, didn't we, at one point? Yeah. Had a six-fingered goalie.
Yes, he was good. He was very good. Yeah, and didn't he wake up in bed with Miss Trinidad and Miss Tobago? He was, sort of based on George. A remarkable tale.
Okay, listen, I'm getting some really good. I'm gonna sorry, I have to move this along because there's some cracker questions coming in here. Ian McClellan has asked, "Do you owe me a sandwich?" Question mark.
Ian McClellan has pledged for when people pledged for the book, they could just buy the book or come out and meet us for a pint. But Ian chose to, I think, spend the whole day with us and have a lunch. So, in short, yes, we do owe you a sandwich, Ian. And Vince is going to make it for you over the weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he ever going to get that sandwich?
He's going to get more than that sandwich.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, maybe some of that deserter IPA beer?
Could be, yeah.
Could be. He's also asking, what's your philosophy?
Well, over to Professor Mr. South.
Shirk, rest and play is as far as it goes.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. We've distilled it down to that, essentially. Yeah.
Oh, I like the beer words, alcohol, distilling. Can't get away from it, can we? Oh my goodness. Right, so I'm not sure. I'm just saying if we have any more other questions coming in here. Nothing else is coming up here. Okay, so why is your badge so small, deserter? A very important question there from Jay Grotti Scupas. I'm not sure actually. Scutas SP. I'm not really sure how he pronounces that.
Our badge.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Over to you, Andy.
Small badge, big heart.
Tiny hands.
Yeah. I think it's a reference to, call out to a goalkeeper, just to put them off their stride. At Dulwich Hamlet, the rabble behind the goal will often start.
Oh, we put up a big badge there for you, just so.
That's a big badge. Yeah. The rabble will start reading the goalkeeper his Facebook posts from the last 3 years to try and put him off.
And accuse him of voting for the Liberal Democrats.
Yeah, and I think on one occasion he had a very small badge. Yeah.
Okay.
We lost
but listen, these are the kind of important questions that we like to deal with on a Friday afternoon.
True.
Oh, I'll tell you what, we have a great question actually, because I was just about to say, Ian's asked when's the first single coming out. I think I heard on one of the pubcast, about The Deserter, the musical. Is that right?
I mean,
now that this other question's come in about the first single, I'm thinking the rumors might be true.
Sometimes we say things on the podcast that we can't remember. But you're right, that is coming back to me, The Deserter, the musical, and it would be a brilliant idea. I do have some availability next year, all of next year. So
and you love a musical. You're a big fan of musical theatres.
I am. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Well, I wish I actually had a bit of audio to play you guys right now, because when I was listening to the podcast, actually, I might be able to play this for you in a second. But when I was listening to one of your podcasts, I have to admit it did remind me of another piece of audio, and I was wondering where the inspiration came from, or which one came first. So I'm going to so this is the deserter one that I hear on your podcast. See, hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. Okay, that's the deserter one.
Yeah.
And now it reminded me, when I heard it the first time, of this one. Do you know that one? That's what we call the your flight was on time at Ryanair.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time.
I think we want to share that same feeling you get when your flight has arrived on time. You know, when you do podcast, that wonderful lift you get, that emotional lift. Yeah.
Okay, well that's what I was thinking. I got it. That's really clever, you know. They were because we all love flying Ryanair, and being Irish myself, you know, it's just can't get enough of it. Like it's whenever I can fly Ryanair, I do. So
yeah, I haven't been on time before though, so that's probably why I never heard it before.
No, well, listen, it's an experience. So if you ever get to fly Ryanair, but make sure you've got some of your deserter beer, because that will really add to the experience. If they let you on with it, that is, they might charge you.
They can't stop you if you have it on the inside.
Oh yeah, okay.
Have it on the bus to the airport, 7 a.m.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I think we've got some more questions coming in. So I was gonna. Well, did you actually answer that question when the first single was coming out? I don't think you did.
First single? What, a deserter single? Well, we haven't even considered the single.
We're going to go straight to the EP.
Is it crazy? Yeah, we'll straight to the EP. We do have a triple concept album in the works.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's about now. I visited every Wetherspoon in southeast London, and we did think about doing a musical album about it.
We ran a poll earlier about whether people, at 3:30 on a Friday, should anybody still be working, or should they be like us and drinking? And I'm happy to say the results of the poll, that 100% of people who voted agreed that they should be drinking and not working. So either, we all have a great network of really smart people, just the general public are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's lovely. As we often say on the podcast, you can't argue with science, and now you've got the data.
Absolutely. Speaking of science, one of the things that I don't know if you've heard about this research between alcohol and language fluency, about whether when we've had a few drinks that our language fluency starts to improve, as judged by native speakers. I think this particular bit of research was conducted in Holland. Now, we were thinking here it might be quite fun to recreate that research, and but I think we need a couple of men of science to help with that.
What we need, scientists. Yes,
I wonder if we should think about
scientists.
Yeah. Do you know any men of science?
Well, we're all about data, aren't we?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're trying to draw us into your web, Susan, aren't you?
Well, and I did wonder, you might have a few friends who might be willing participants.
Yes. Yeah.
Confidence
away. Sad. We've just been sent a note. I don't know if you missed it, that he may have been streaking at the Sri Lanka England game earlier on, which is a surprise. since we thought he was a football character. Yeah, is this the research of which you speak? This is about the idea that after a certain number of pints, your language facility improves, and people don't know quite why or how.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm willing to try.
Yeah, I mean, this research was quite limited. So, I mean, maybe we can ask guys who are watching and following us on Twitter to help construct what might be some better research we could carry out together. They really focused on 1 or 2 drinks. It would be interesting to see what, several drinks, how that stacked up with the language skills.
Yeah, could be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Or language.
I mean, I usually start speaking in tongues around there.
And I mean, do you think, I wonder whether would we choose a foreign language as they did in that research, or would English be enough of a challenge?
English can be a challenge after 18 pints. For me, yeah, I think. Well, in order to get some reasonable results, probably the best thing would have English speakers trying to speak French, for example, sober after 2 pints, after 5 pints, and after 90 pints, and then we would really get some results.
Then they'd really be speaking French, wouldn't they? Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I mean, that's an interesting one. So we might put that out there like that. Maybe, Vince, you have another way that you would think it might work?
Well, I usually go for Serbo-Croat at around 7 pints. So, but yeah, no, I think you're going to have a go, aren't you, when you've had a few? That's the thing. You lose your self-consciousness.
Yeah.
And have a go at anything. Dancing, talking to girls, dancing on the table, speaking a foreign language.
Yeah, the research could be widened then, I guess, is what you're saying. It might not, could be widened past just being about foreign languages. It could be about confidence in general, right?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
I can feel a whole series coming out of this. All the good things to do with alcohol. Yeah,
oh my goodness.
People accentuate the negative. First of all, you'll be able to speak German. Ich habe meinen Schlüssel verloren, können Sie drucken bitte? And then we can go on about learnings, makeup, how much better your makeup can be when you're drunk.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Is there an advance involved?
I mean, well, the only thing I was thinking, the only volunteers that might be hard to come by would be the volunteers that actually have to stay sober to rate the other volunteers.
Oh, someone's always got to write it up, haven't they? There's always one mug, yeah. I mean, this is you asked about the book earlier. I basically came up with the ideas and got Vince to write it up, and it just worked very well for us.
Yeah. I think I remembered that years ago, seeing that on a Garfield T-shirt. It was like, you work during the day and I'll rest in the evenings.
Yes, that's the partnership.
That's kind of the partnership. Yeah, it looks like you guys. Sorry, somebody has asked this question that's distracting me here. It says, does Andy have any more photos of him by the pool in his budgie smugglers?
God, I hope not.
A remarkable series of images, yes. For those that don't know, a friend of mine's a photographer, and we did a sort of commission, basically, based on the character Jens Hairsplitter. I haven't got anything planned for this month, but I will be returning to Tenerife to fill up his photo bank.
Yeah, it might be interesting as well to see how his photography skills fare based on, how much alcohol has been drunk.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, have you met him? You might have met him at the book, actually.
Photography improves immeasurably.
Yeah, he didn't seem out of place at the launch.
That's true. Did seem a bit out of focus.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you see, Ian has asked, what beer are you drinking? And what wine is Susan drinking? Okay, well, I mean, I'm going to answer. I have to show the bottle because, you know, we only have to have the good stuff. Sancerre.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Sancerre, that's very good.
Yeah,
that's
Sancerre. Hope you like that wine, Ian. And and I have to stick with the Francais, with the French wine. So, and what beer are you guys drinking? And cheers, Ian.
From Sunny Brewing, of course.
5 out of is it 6 out of 5 on Untapped? I can't remember the score. It's got a very good score.
I believe so. Yeah.
Have you yourselves? That's a very Irish way to ask the question. Have you yourselves tried tried the double strength beer?
Not the one that we haven't brewed one yet, but we've had to do some research, and we found the one we favoured was called Howl by the Verdant Brewery. Even though it's like 7.5%, it's quite delicious, and you could chug through that all evening until you fall off your stool.
We tried some others that night. We do our research, Susan. We made it.
That's obvious. That's obvious.
All about the data.
Yeah.
I mean, other people might just think that you're drinking now, but I mean, I know that you're researching. You know, this is every pint is research. Added onto that research.
Yeah.
That's a very good strapline. I think we should put that on the website.
Yeah, and it's true. But listen, okay, I'm just going to ask you one sensible question before we wrap this up.
No,
because I feel like I have to. Because we basically we get a lot of like young entrepreneurs watching, or people who are looking at their career ahead, and you guys quite frankly are legends for all of these people. So if you were them, and basically you were given £1 million and 3 minutes to spend that, what would you buy?
£1 million and 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Well, I'd get a pint of dessert or IPA in while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, maybe 2. So we can.
Okay.
Is it the last 3 minutes of my life, or?
It's basically you got yourself £1 million, but you've only got 3 minutes on your mobile phone to spend it. So what are you going to buy?
I'd buy a pub, I think.
Oh,
it's not a business move, but it means that I would, it's like learning to fish. You're going to have lots of booze, keep you going beyond those three minutes.
He'd die happy.
Well, I think Ian has given you a suggestion. How about 300,000 pints?
I mean,
he's way ahead of us.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the thing with Ian, he does earn good money, but it's pointless because even if you're a millionaire, you can still only drink 30 pints a day.
Okay. And, I'm no maths whiz, but that's quite a few days then it would take you to get to that 300,000, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's young. He's got a few more days than us.
Yeah. But listen, I think it's time to start the weekend because it is like Monday now. It's Friday, but
I'd wait.
Okay.
But because I know you probably won't be drinking over the weekend. I hope you've enjoyed your part. I know drinking is for work time only. I know that. And I agree with that. That's a great philosophy. And just as well you work 24/7. But anyway, I want to show the guys once more the book so that everybody can say it. I have personally really enjoyed reading this over the last week, and I've been enjoying listening to the podcasts. So I think that everybody should be listening to your podcasts. I mean, I really didn't know how popular Brazilian butt lifts were for guys in the UK before that. And I mean, that's the kind of gems that people are going to find out about, and and about the Romans and what the Romans did for South London.
Yeah.
So no, that's been fantastic. But listen, thank you, Andy, thank you, Vince, for joining us today. And I look forward to that research for the vlog on education and alcohol. I think we can definitely take that places. So we'll run a few polls on Twitter. Let's run a few polls in the next week, get some feedback, and let's get the men of science in action on that research.
Absolutely.
Okay, take care and cheers.